We're now recording. Hello, Freda. It's lovely to be speaking with the creator of the Laughie. And you also know an author and researcher and much more, which we'll hear about in a moment. And it's fantastic to be having this conversation with you. And asking you, sort of first of all, what is joy? What is joy to you? What does joy mean to you, Freda?
Joy is a wonderful, wonderful concept, emotion. It's really about elation. It's about feeling joyful, which equates to elation. It can be a transient emotion as such, because it can be difficult to feel joyful all the time. But in a way, that's what's so wonderful about joy, is that it can come and it can go, and the moments we experience joy are just wonderful moments.
Yes, yes. Lovely to hear the word elation.
Mhm.
All the conversations I've had with people. That's the first time anybody's
Okay.
used that word.
Mhm.
The other interesting thing you said was a concept and an emotion. So it's actually sort of it's a mind and a feeling. It's like a whole being experience. Is what
Yeah,
I'm hearing from.
absolutely, absolutely. For me, joy is also something which is, I would say, mixed with optimism and mixed with
Yes,
gratitude.
yes, yes,
Um, it
yes,
is it is something which affects our whole body, I think.
yes.
Um,
Fantastic.
Laughter is, which we'll talk about soon, I suppose, is a an expression of joy. I would say, definitely.
Very nice.
It's
Yes.
that sort of elation that we feel where we laugh.
Yes.
Um, I
Yes.
was thinking before this meeting, I was trying to think of a metaphor for joy, because it's very difficult, and there are many, many different definitions. What is the difference between joy and happiness, and so on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's quite difficult to unpick and disentangle. But the metaphor that came for me for joy is that it's like a fire. It's like
Yeah.
it's a campfire or a
Yeah.
bonfire, or the fire in your living room, a real wood fire with wood, with flames, with sparks,
Yeah.
that you enjoy,
Yeah.
but that is to a certain extent transient. But then once the fire dies down, you have the embers
Yeah.
of the fire, and those embers are something that you can enjoy as well. It's not the same elation that you will feel from watching the flames rise and watching the sparks, but still it's a sort of a joy which is different. The valence is different, but
Yeah.
it's still enjoyable. And one can also, with the embers, one can restart the
Yes. Yes.
sparks.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
so
Exactly.
it's a very, very sort of, um
It's a
it's
very
a
nice
very
image.
interesting. Yeah, I think the image is interesting because it's one that we can compare with happiness. And
Yeah.
happiness for me is, of course, the two can be synonymous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can't be too, no, it's not this, and no, it's not
No,
that. We have to
exactly.
be
Yeah.
flexible. But if we take the metaphor of the fire further, I would suggest that happiness is the central heating system in one's home. It's a cold day. We come back to the house and the heating is on, and we're just happy that we've got that sort of continuous heating of the central heating. But it's not the same joy that we would perceive when we see the fire,
Yeah.
in the living
Yeah.
room with the
Nice.
sparks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that's how I would compare the two.
Yeah.
I would say that, yeah, that joy is elation,
Yeah.
and happiness is more about contentment.
Very nice. Very nice. I do like that fire image. So how important, this is question two, how important is joy to you?
Joy is hugely important to me, and I actually have a recollection as a child. I had a book, a scrapbook, which was called the Book of Joy.
Yes,
and I think I
yes.
must have been about. Did you have one as well?
No. It's fantastic, fantastic.
I don't know whether it was a thing at the time. I mean, I'm talking now about 50 years ago, because I was probably around just under 10 or so. But I would put in things, and one of the things I remember in the book was the poem by Wordsworth on daffodils.
Oh yes,
yeah. Where you just find, in fact, I don't think he mentions joy in it, but it's such a joyous poem where we're just looking at daffodils,
yeah,
and having a pleasure from something so natural.
yes, yes.
And it's
a
that
pleasure
sort of
from something so natural. That's
yes.
a nice phrase too. You see.
Yes, yes, absolutely, and it's so important to find that sort of pleasure in things about us that are either very that are either divine or are very natural and very simple. So I mean, for instance, the French phrase joie de vivre is really finding joy in life, in just finding joy in the pleasure of living, you know, the fact that
being alive.
Absolutely.
Yes. So what's your top tip, or what are your top tips for feeding this fire of joy?
Absolutely, I love that. It's, you know, I think everyone is going to be so different, so it's difficult to give a blanket tip. But I know,
but it's not about, it's your tips. It's
my tip. My tip
tips,
is really, absolutely. My tip would be to just to find the pleasure in the simple things in our daily life. You know, and to enjoy what is around us, you know, be it a field of daffodils, be it one daffodil, be it just a cozy home, be it a good meal. This is the joyful potential is huge. You know, we don't have to rely on having a Ferrari or whatever.
That's
it is.
Nice.
We can you know, that might bring happiness, but joy is found, I think, in the more simple things, and in the divine, I would also say.
Yes, very nice. So it's what I absolutely heard in what you were saying there was finding the joy in where you are, which is and you mentioned early on sort of gratitude and appreciating what we have. How fantastic! Now we can't really have a joy conversation and talk about top tips without asking and where does the Laughie? How does the Laughie fit in with your joy tips, Freda?
The Laughie is a laughter prescription. So my sort of quest as a researcher and as a health psychologist was to find a way where we can boost mood simply, quickly.
So nice, yes.
And open for everyone. So the Laughie is really, it's a 1 minute laughter prescription where we're saying that just 1 minute can boost mood and can bring joy, happiness, a range of emotions, one of which is joy, of course. And it's something which is so natural to do, to laugh. So this is really, it's also based on the idea of what is the minimum effective dose. So what is the minimum amount of time that we need to invest where we can increase our mood, change our affect if we're feeling down, boost it. Really 1 minute is all it takes, in fact.
Fantastic.
And it's something that we can learn to do. It's not immediately intuitive, but the Laughie is something that can be taught by people such as yourselves, experts in laughter. And it's just a very interesting tool to have, both from a scientific perspective, because it enables us to gather information about laughter. If we're recording our laughter, we can gather information about that, and we can use that recording then as a prompt to help
Yes.
us laugh.
Yes, fantastic. I know. I've been a fan of. I was a fan of the Laughie ever. As soon as I came across it, even as before meeting you, meeting you like this. I know it is. It's absolutely fantastic idea, Freda, and you invited me to collaborate with you. There's a chapter in a book coming out very shortly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was delighted to have you. You're the main person in that chapter. It's a chapter about a positive trajectory of life, which can be supported by laughter, where laughter can bring joy to one's life, when before it was a little bit, Hash won't say, lacking in joy.
Yes.
And this is your story, in fact. And my role in that chapter is just to frame it within a framing of what we call positive autoethnography, which is a qualitative writing methodology whereby we write about our own experiences in a way that brings out the positive, because we all have a positive story to tell, even if for some of us it's more deeply embedded than for others. The idea is to bring out the positive and to share the positive as well.
Yes. It'll be great to have another conversation with you in a few months' time after this book comes out. Because it's so interesting being part of this project. Freda, thank you very, very much for taking the time for this absolutely fantastic call. I knew it would be a fantastic conversation.
Thank you so much, Joe, and Joe Joy. I think the two words actually. That should be your name, Joe, because you've done so much to bring joy to people. Thank you.
Oh wow, wow! Thank you, Freda.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.